guys, what's up and welcome back to the channel. Well, I believe today is finally the day that we're going to get the head put back on the 24 valve. Got everything set up and ready to go. I got my torque wrench over there, fire ring head gasket, and my head studs. So we're going to go over here and get everything cleaned up, get the bag off of there, get the WD-40 cleaned off of it, and get ready and set this head in place. I do have it picked up from Knives like I said the other night, and it is ready to go. It did have to have a valve job this time because of valve recession and running a different head gasket than what it was initially milled for in the beginning. So had to do a couple of guides and then also do change valve recession. They were all right at minimum depth, so they all had to be done. So right now, let's get this cleaned up over there and then get ready and put this in place. All right, what I've done to keep rust at bay, you can see right there. Instead of using a rag and covering everything up, what I did was I doused everything down with WD-40. You can just see how it's sticking to the bag. And then I covered everything up with a garbage bag. I got some clips down there to hold it in place on a timing cover. And then I just had some weights sitting on top of the block itself. So that's what I'm saying. I got to get things cleaned up. I'm going to pull the bag off there. Going to use some carburetor cleaner, some brake clean this surface really well, make sure everything's good on it. Could use a Scotch-Brite or something like that, make sure everything's good and clean. I've already cleaned it once, but I just want to make sure that mating surface is good and clean. One thing you want to make sure of is use a nice lint-free towel. Don't use paper towels or nothing like that because paper towels do have a lot of lint on them. I would use a good microfiber towel. All right, with that all cleaned off, I went through, I've already cleaned them once, but I just went ahead and went through and blew all of the threaded holes out for the head studs. That way they're good and clean. If you're doing this, if you're doing head studs individually, it's a good idea to grab you a shop vac or something like that with a long hose, reach down inside there and suck all the oil and stuff out of there and make sure these are good and clean. That way you don't get a hydraulic lock on that head stud and it is able to go all the way down in. What I like to do is I like to throw them all the way in until they touch and then back them off just ever so slightly. For head studs, you guys have heard me before, we're going to be running some Xotic Performance. These are a 220,000 pound tensile strength. They do have some 228s, but they are not available yet. These are 130 foot-pound torque. So they are the equivalent to an ARP 2000. You can see right here, this is a Hazley fire ring gasket. And Hazley recommends the hot retorque at 130 foot-pounds for a 12 millimeter stud, and that's what we are running. And then it goes through here and tells you all the groove depth, what it recommends for horsepower ratings and stuff like that. Right now, we're not going on anything over 800 horsepower by far, so we're just doing the head-only groove. We're not grooving the block. And then also, I have me some motor oil or just some engine oil. That way I can dip the coarse end of the head stud through in there before I put it down in the block for just a little bit of lubricant. And then I'm going to be tightening everything up with my Olsa Tools digital torque wrench. On the head over here, I've made like a little chain sling to be able to lift that up as level and straight as possible. That way when I'm setting them down, because I'm by myself, setting it down by myself is going to be a little bit difficult. I don't have somebody to help me guide and turn the head as you set it down. You do have an alignment dowel up front, then another one out back, and we'll take some studs and stick down in there. As we get it close, we'll run a stud down in the block and make sure everything's good and straight that way also. All right, these head gaskets will only go on one way, and your dowel pins right here, your alignment dowels in the back and the front will depict which way it goes because the hole is actually just a little bit bigger from one side to the other. So that'll help you determine which way it goes on. Other than that, they only go on one way. On the rings themselves, you want to try and find where the welded seam is, and I like to put those like towards the exhaust just a little bit, and keep everything away from any water or oil jackets. And make sure and put, you see that ground side right there, I don't know if you can see that or not, put that down towards the block and leave your nice rounded edge up towards your groove on your head. All right, with that in place, we're ready to grab the head and get it over here and get it lowered down. Alright, that worked out pretty good. I did something just a little bit different, as you guys saw. I did a front and a back, and then I did one on this side, and it kept everything good and straight. As I lowered it down, we can know everything is down and tight because we can see it's sitting on the gasket right there, and it's sitting on the gasket all the way through. You want to make sure and check that on both sides. Make sure it's not sitting, one of the rings is cocked, or the gasket's cocked, or the head's cocked, or anything like that. Now we'll go through and continue and put our 6 exhaust head studs in, and then put the rest of the head studs in, put the washers, the nuts on them, plenty of lube, get everything torqued down. There's a 3-step torque process. I forget what they are. I'll have to look it up, but you torque it to one, then you torque it to another one, and then you do a final torque at 130. And then when we're all said and done, we'll start the engine, let it get up to temperature, and then we'll do a hot retorque at 130 again, just to make sure everything is good and sealed. And then at that point in time, you do want to make sure and do your valve lash again. Alright, just a quick side note. In the back there, when you get back to just about right here, there's not enough room in between the cowl and the top of the head to be able to get those on there. I've never been able to anyway. So luckily this time I have my transmission out. So I just took a jack, put underneath the front of the engine, and I pitched the engine back just a little bit on the engine mounts, and I was able to get those in there and screwed in place. Now with all these in place, I'll go through, lube everything up good, get my washers on there, start getting all my nuts on, and start torquing this head down. Alright, got all the nuts and washers on, everything's lubed up really well. We're going to go through and start torquing it now. You do start out at 40, 80, and then go to 130 foot-pounds. Starting in the center, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on and so on. You just keep working your way out in a circle, and that way that lays that head out this way, and it lays it out this way. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my torque wrench and a 14mm socket and get started at that. All right, I got the first one done at 40 foot-pounds. I left the torque wrench on that last one just to verify. Come over here. Xotic Performance does send you a little sheet here that tells you the torque pattern, how you should go the sequence, and also tells you that 22, 14, 6, 3, 11, and 19 are all your longer ones. Those are just about a 1/4 inch longer for your exhaust side. I finished up over there on 26 where I had the torque wrench laying, and that's right there where it is. Now next we'll go to 80 foot-pounds is our next torque sequence, and then on to 130 foot-pounds. Alright, I pretty much got everything just buttoned up on the top end. Got everything torqued. Ha! Just fooling you. Anyway, just thought I would set that on there, see what it looked like, take one last look. See how many of you guys watched clear to the end. I am going to sell my build aluminum valve cover. I'm going to do something just a little bit different. I got some things in mind. I am selling this. Right now I have it on Marketplace on Facebook for $325 shipped. If any of you guys are interested in it, I will sell it for $300 shipped. You guys can PayPal me if you want to, and I will get it shipped your way. Like I said, this is a 24 valve. It can be used from 98.5 till 2002. So if anybody is interested in this billet valve cover, I do have the rubber O-ring still. I'm not going to run it anymore. I'm going to go and do something just a little bit different. If anybody is interested, it's yours for $300 shipped. So other than that, if you guys are interested in some Xotic Performance head studs, link is in the description. It'll be the second Amazon link. The first one, as always, is Hot Shots. Second one is the general Amazon link. If you guys do any shopping at all on Amazon, use that link in my description and you guys will help out the channel. And then the third one will be for some Xotic Performance head studs. They are a lifetime warranty, no questions asked, and you can't beat it for the price. I've used 2 sets. A friend of mine, Dylan Galloway, Dirty Diamond Diesel, he's used like 4 sets, and neither one of us have had any issues. And I have another set that I'm going to be using in the common rail downstairs. They do have, I will tell you, they do have, like I said before earlier in the video, they have some 625 equivalents coming out. If you guys want to wait on those should be available towards the end of this month. So with that being said, guys, I think that's pretty much going to do it for today. We've got some plans that we need to go take care of. So if you don't mind, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not already done so, and we'll talk to you guys later.